I'm hitting go live and it says we're live.
Hi, hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janema.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 440. I think we should do something for 444. That's just a fun
Okay.
alliteration. Something with a lot of force or
I'm like, yeah, it's right before June.
it's true. It's true. And we do have that thing we do in June.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
He was like, yeah, Megan, not funny. Yeah, so we were just chatting. It is raining cats and dogs here. It's decided to be April showers in May,
Hmm.
which I heard, I think somebody had like as part of a late night comedy sketch or whatever, of course, the meme of Justin Timberlake being, it's gonna be May. And now that was like my theme song yesterday, like in
Hmm.
my head, right? People were like, it is May, Megan. It's not going to be May. And I'm like, I know, but the song got put in my head. And so,
Yes. My favorite one is that there's that stitch, where somebody says, "Is there a word that you've mispronounced once and it haunts you for the rest of your life?" And then Justin Timberlake comes in and says the word me.
yeah. Yeah. But there's a lot of different ways to pronounce a lot of words, as I found in Ireland. So
Oh, yes.
I think old was my favorite Irish word.
Mm.
She's so old. I'm like, what? What? Oh, old. Like we pronounce the L in old a lot more than they do there.
Oh,
So
okay.
uh, anyway, kind of in an Irish state of mind because I have a bunch of favorite things here that were from my trip to Ireland. They've been dutifully waiting for this episode, and then Amy has a sad that she was also dutifully waiting this episode.
Yeah, so I left my bag of goodies from LYS, or from the yarn hop shop hop, at home. So a little sad on that. But I do have some things to talk about for favorite things. Do we have some administrati?
I know today is May 2nd. I did not draw for self-striping, but did go out and do all of the everything else. Did do all of the verifying of folks' entries for all of the KALs. It made me so
Mhm.
very happy to look at all of the happy finished objects. There was spinning, there was crochet, there were
Mhm.
yeah, not spinning for the self-striping, sorry, but we'll draw for the self-striping prize next week. I'll do a
Okay.
good stash stir this weekend of my overflowing cube self-striping yarn, and we'll do the drawing there. I think we're getting very, very close to having our swag for the Zombie Explorers and self-striping logo available out in our swag shop. So stay tuned on that.
Yep. So we had a winner for the first quarter who picked swag, and so we'll happily send those links along to them here, and they can pick what they
Yes,
want.
yes, absolutely.
Um, So the other thing that I have is that the spring email went out, and it's been out for a few weeks here, but in there is an opportunity to volunteer to lead a session. If you want to teach folks something, a skill that you have, and share it with all the people here, you can set how long you want it to be, how many people are allowed to be in it, and so you can be as small or as large as you want. And yeah, we've had a lot of really great things over the years. We currently have I want to say a dozen people signed up to, or not people, dozen classes offered to be taught. And also, that culminates with a wonderful teacher's dinner, so that you can come out and have dinner with a smaller, uh, but largish, intimate group. And Megan and I will be there along with Sam. So we're very, very excited.
Hmm.
And yeah, so get your applications in for your class you would like to teach. Again, it could be 1 half-hour class. It doesn't have to be anything super formal either. If you wanted to just call it like, parade of FOs, maybe you have a certain FO that or type of thing that you knit a lot of and you've gotten very good at it and you want
Why would you do that? I
you want to
feel called
share
out, Amy. I feel called
love of
out.
that pattern and why it brings you so much joy, and then inspire people to knit their own, then that could be a great
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, no, I remember when we went to Knitting Pipeline, Diane did the stitch surfers, right? She had gotten into like a lather,
Oh,
rinse, repeat
yes.
on the stitch surfers, and she had a bunch of like tips and tricks of how to best do that. Yeah, I mean, with me, I could very easily do a tips and tricks on skews because I've made so many of them
Mhm.
and made so many mods to make them work for, my husband who has like a deeper foot or higher arch or whatever. So yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, again, you just don't realize all of the knowledge and passion that you have that you could share with others. So yeah, this is definitely our call to action. It's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to feel engaged in the event, and everybody loves to attend the classes. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I did learn that frogging an item takes a long amount of time because I frogged one last weekend and it took me pretty much the whole day. So if you're bringing a sweater, we might only get to frog a sleeve on said sweater. But it will be a lot of fun. If you have another project, something a little bit simpler where there aren't, like, I was alternating every other row. That's kind of why it took so long, because I had to untwist everything as I went. I have a tip or trick for that one because I figured
I
it
was
out while I was doing it.
I was gonna say, like, I just also had a sad. So the work in progress that I showed last week before I jetted off to Denver had that very speckled purple. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. I got to like below the sleeve split and tried it on, and lo and behold, it fit me. But when I looked in the mirror, I was expecting kind of like that Mona Lisa effect of like, close up, maybe you don't really see it, but far away, you're like, oh, look at that cool, color work pattern. And it just kind of looked like maybe the speckles had randomly formed a pattern.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was like, oh, I'm gonna get to the boring stockinette part, and I'm gonna be like, I hate this. Why am I why am I doing the stockinette when the color work isn't even something that I'm excited or proud about? So I ripped it out, and it did not take me all day. But again, it was just not sleeves, but yeah, because it was color work, there was two strands that I was holding together on the purple. So it was actually like three strands of yarn. There was definitely technique needed there. So
Yeah, it is interesting when you're ripping out a sweater. I finally got it dry and ready to ball up and use again, which is the exciting part.
mhm.
But yeah, so that's the class that I plan to give tips or tricks and hopefully allow us to get some yarn reclaimed, if not a lot, but some. And yeah, it's great. Like, I think that sometimes you need to put that yarn that you love so much into something that you're actually going to wear.
Yeah,
Because I've
absolutely.
certainly given away a lot of things, but some of these pieces that I'm ripping out to reknit, I just think that I want them to be a different thing, Like, I
Yeah,
don't
you
want them
love
to
the
go off and
yarn. It's
exist.
just yeah. And
But
I definitely feel like, in addition to being kind of part of the slow fashion movement, right? So, like, not just buying things and throwing them away, or buying things and, donating them, that we are, yeah, there's a sustainability piece there as well, that the
Mhm.
wool can live on and become something new. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess to move on from administrati and into favorite things, because
There's
I
a little
forgot
tipper trick in there somewhere, or a
that
future
one.
tipper trick.
Well, and I have a tipper trick with my favorite things,
Yeah.
but first thing I want to say is that I went and did the Queen City Yarns knit along bingo card, got a bingo
Hmm.
prize. Miss Janice is so generous and so nice, and everybody who got prizes had like the best prizes. They just all looked great, but they were kind of individually selected, right? It felt like time was taken to see, who that person was, and the prize given to them suited their knitting style and what they like to do. So, shout out to her. It is one of my favorite things, and I really enjoy posting to the bingo card. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to join in a certain round with Janice, it's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
and also it's not necessarily required that you knit with Queen City Yarns in that too.
More
So
about the community.
yes, very
And I'm
much
sure
so.
Janice would love if you used
Right,
her yarn,
absolutely.
but it's not a like a hard requirement.
Yes, and May is working with colors. So um a
Well, that
multiple
fits
color
in
project.
well. Yeah.
Sure does. Okay, so then kind of along that multicolor May theme, I have my little boxes.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I got on Shop Hop Day was I got to use another shout out, darn it anyway. If you sign up for their newsletter and join their birthday club, you do get a gift card on your birthday. So I used my gift card to buy Summer's new book, but this is just a different pattern outside of the book, but they're tied together. I'm knitting one of her patterns, and so I thought it would be really fun to also own the book. And I used my lovely gift card from Darn It Anyway because my birthday last month. So um, shout out to them. It's a great LYS if you're near Stillwater.
Absolutely. And Stillwater is a great, cute little town, right? Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, lots of fun, even for non-knitters. So you can bring your non-knitting friends. Yeah, it's great.
absolutely.
So, one of my favorite things about this, beyond it being 716, Jenna's wonderful smooshy sock base, it's one of my favorite sock bases. Just so much fun and squishy. So these are all 716 knit colors. And then what I'm doing is I'm not quite done with the leg or the foot, getting to the toe. But I decided to use my other needles to get the heel undone so that I might finish the heel in advance of the toe so I can get a good fit.
Try it
That's
on.
the thing about afterthought heels that always, worries me, right? Is that I'm going to finish that toe, finish that heel, and then realize that it's not fitting because I've got the wrong length in the foot.
Mhm.
So since it's the opposite color, I can go ahead and kind of pause on this side, bring this up, bring on my To Be Fair colorway here, and get that started. So
And then you'll be able to try it on and really place that toe in a good spot.
yes, so that is just a really fun thing. This pattern is very addictive. It's
Hmm.
6 repeats, and you get to that kind of rest row. That's the yellow all the way across, and that gets you excited to go into the next set of color work. And then it's just five, simple little rows, and then you've got that rest row again. And yeah, I've been really booking on this one over the last day. And again, I got so excited that I was getting close to the toe. Not really. I've probably got 3 more repeats of the pattern, but that I decided that I wanted to go ahead and open up this heel, get it finished so that I can make sure I have the right fit. So that's part of my favorite things. And yeah, so I talked about the book. I talked about Queen City Yarn, their lovely bingo. And then, yeah, I guess another favorite thing is that I really like my Addy Turbos.
Hmm.
And it is my favorite to get the, I think they're the 2.25s and 32-inch circumference. And that's my preferred and favorite. I do have these 2.5 unicorns. They've got the little bit extra texture on the
Swirl.
tips. Yep. And mainly doing this because of the color work and the thickness of the yarn. You really do need that little bump up of the 0.25, or I do, into the next size in order to make this work. And I don't recall what Summer has listed for these. I know that she has, admittedly, in her book, like in all of her patterns, she says that she is the tightest knitter in the world. So she has the gauge for hers seems to be larger than I would use, right? So this might have been even the recommended size, but to get the gauge, I wouldn't normally use this other than its color work. But I think I'm still experimenting though, because I will say that this part is a little looser than this part.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I think I had a non-stressed and a stressed block of knitting. And it is noticeably different in person. But this is I don't know, the part that needs to be kind of looser. And this is where I like more of a hug. So it works.
On purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, on purpose. Totally. Although the
It's
second
kind
sock
of
is
a
going
fun
to be a joy
effect to
because I'm
see
going to
the
have to
squares.
very intentionally finish knitting the second sock in the same loose and tight cadence. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun effect. You can see it, right? The boxes look a little smaller.
yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a fun effect.
All right. That's me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll mention briefly one of my favorite things is the mitts that I told myself that I was gonna start making on repeat this year. I finally got to it. So the split decision mitts are a super fun
Oh,
yeah, knit.
that is
This is
definitely a different
Trolla.
color.
Yeah. This is Trolla. And then I've got a bunch of them sitting here, but yeah, really loving how quickly the stripe section seems to knit up. For whatever reason, it feels like even though you can see it's like literally half of the mitt, this part feels like it takes 3 times as long. I don't know if it's again that turning and whatever. And I put a thumb hole in them other than a thumb gusset as written in the pattern. So roughly 2/3 up. I'm not going to give any specifics, and a third of the number of stitches that you're going back and forth on there. And this fits not only my hand, which I have very, very small hands relative to others, but it also fits my husband's. And then I've been checking the looseness of my bind off by well, it fit as like an arm warmer. And then if you really want not just your knuckles covered, but like a full hand, you can kind of flip it because that thumb gusset isn't keeping it going this way, which I kind of like as well. But yes, this is, if I have single ladies in my stash that are not fingering, second category, it's definitely DK. I have like a
Mhm.
whole bin of like color work hat leftovers or color work sweater leftovers of DK. And so it's been fun. Like this was just like a combo that jumped out at me as they were all intermingling in my bin.
If you ever end up with any 5 gram singles, I'm making a blanket and I'm
Okay.
starting to get to the point where I'm out of my own
It's
personal.
probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen with what I've got going on there. So yeah, when I get souvenirs, I always get a magnet. So there's a lot of traveling souvenirs. I got a Solange um uh Guinness, although this isn't like their actual Guinness. That will be going on my fridge now that I've talked about it. I was like uncovering things and rediscovering. I was like, oh, I forgot that. So yeah, Solange. I got a Guinness Zero at the Guinness place, and it was very, very tasty. So like they basically make Guinness and then take the alcohol out of it.
Mhm,
And like instead of like brewing it in a different way so that it doesn't the yeast doesn't create the alcohol by eating the sugar, as my husband would
mhm.
say. They actually do make it with alcohol and then they take all the alcohol out of it. It has less alcohol in it than like orange juice. Very tasty. If you ever get the opportunity to have a you can't drink and you want a Guinness Zero is super tasty. I enjoyed it. It was very cool, like museum-y type place as well. Like we didn't get to see them actually brewing anything, but lots of like interactive exhibits and really cool displays. I also got this tote, so super cute there. Got
Mhm.
that. Really love the little toucan. My daughter got the little Guinness cycling fish with
Mm,
the quote that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle, which
that
was
sounds like
super
a good
cool.
one for her with the biking
Yes,
and
yeah.
yeah.
And then I also love at Christmas time being
Oh,
able to remember our trips as well. So like we have a little Kiwi or a little New Zealand one and whatever. So yeah. This one says
very
Dublin,
cool.
Ireland. Very cool. I haven't decided if this is going to, I think I bought it before I found that other ornament, if this is going to end up as an ornament on the tree or if I'll do something else with it. But it's a little sheepy. A lot of sheep, souvenir type stuff in Ireland. A lot of sheep in Ireland as well, but I could not resist. So this is Aaron Knitwear Handmade. I could not resist the little green sheepy and his little eyes. He's looking at you. Yeah, Knit Bits collection, Aaron Knitwear. There were rainbow ones as well, but you know me, green is the green is the word. I also so this like again, I either go like crazy bonkers or I can't find anything. I also found this macross, or they might say it different, macros wallet with some beautiful like jewel toned fabric. So it's actually woven in Killarney in County Kerry in Ireland. And it's do you see this Macross or Macros weavers? So then the little pole has an MW on it, like
Ah,
me. I was like, okay, I
it's
officially
a
have to
sign.
get that. Yes,
Yes.
I officially have to get that. And then at one of the castles, I found a Williams crest
Ah,
pin.
very fun.
Yeah, and somebody else had a really cool. I took a picture of the restaurant, but this is like a little crest that's got like a
Mm,
knife and a fork and a spoon in it, and I thought it was
cute.
really pretty. So got a couple of enamel pins while I was there, but the biggest find that I was yarn that I
Of
found.
course.
It felt like a very like amazing race sort of situation. Like we climbed to the top of the Dunratty Castle and I'm in the tower and I look down and there's this Blarney Woolen Mills building across the way. And I'm like, this is where I need to be. So I go over there and I'm looking, they've gorgeous stuff. Like I found a poncho type with woven fabric that was the Megan style, which was really kind of cool. There's a lot of Megans in Ireland. Must be kind of an Irish name. I'm not Irish, but it's an Irish name. Uh, And the kids and the husband walked in. I think I may have told this story the last week or 2 weeks ago when we podcasted. And I'm like in the rugs, right? And I look up to like see them because they're gonna go to ice cream. And here is like again, like the light shine down on this cupboard of or shelves of yarn. And that's where the yarn was. It was with the rugs. So again, I don't know if you were gonna make rugs or what. Um, and then I was like agog about the price. So there was a sign that said if you got like 12 of them, it was basically $5 a skein, and
Mhm.
that's including that, which is kind of crazy. I found this beautiful color and there was only 11 skeins. Like somebody had opened the package of 12 and there was only 11. And I'm like, you're basically getting two skeins for free if you buy 12. So I was like, I
Mhm.
don't want to buy 11 of them. I want to get the like price, right? And they did that for me because they looked and couldn't find, they said that there was another package of it, but it wasn't. So yeah, this is a nice Donegal tweed with like
Oh,
multicolored
pretty.
bits and gray. Yeah, super pretty. It's made in Donegal, Ireland. Ireland. Sorry, gotta say it like them. And again, it's that Blarney woolen mill. That so if you're ever at the Dunraddy Castle, yarn is across the road, basically. It's super pretty. And yeah, fortunately, at the last minute, we packed an extra suitcase to throw like shoes and coats in, and I was able to take this with me. But it's I think it's an Aran weight. Um, let's see, what is it? UK 6, US 8, 120 or 186 yards, and I don't see a weight. But I think I did the math and it was a pretty substantial heavyweight. So can make something with it. And super excited. It's a little rough to it's 100% wool, not 100% merino. So the prickle factor is a little higher, but yeah, I'm just in love with all these pops of Fleck. And the Donegal tweed is pretty nice, I would say. Like I don't feel like, it's really well integrated in there rather than having puffs of things jumping out at you. You can see a
Mhm.
couple. But yeah, I was super happy with my and requested my VAT back because after $75 you get your VAT back. And so yeah, relatively inexpensive. It checked a lot of marks for boxes for me, like milled in Ireland,
Yeah.
gorgeous color,
Yep.
very inexpensive. There was hedgehog sitting next to kind of this the woolen mills stuff, and I would say it's comparable to what we can buy it for in the United States and Ireland.
Oh, really? Okay. So it wasn't really saving that much. But was that the VAT though? If you took the VAT out with
It
it?
was,
Okay.
yeah. So it probably would have been a little bit cheaper, but yeah. So those are my Ireland finds, and definitely favorite things. Yeah, buying yarn as a souvenir is one of those things that's like I know a lot of people do it. I really plan on making something with this and kind of remembering my time in Ireland, as well as when I wear the thing, remembering my
Mhm.
time in Ireland. Yeah, it's great. If I'd maybe just bought one skein, might not have gotten knitted as quickly as if I could buy a sweater quantity. So
Yes. And for $5 a ball or hank, just
yeah,
like, oh, yep, we're gonna be
let's do
taking
it. If
back.
I hadn't already made the watermark, I think it would make a beautiful watermark.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it now. So
Yep.
on you.
Yes.
But yeah.
All right. Sounds
All
like
right.
we
Thanks
have
for
a
joining
lot of
us.
fun things to talk about.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Uta.